someone glued a dildo to the front of my car, and now when I drive around, people look out and scream, "Look, here comes the dildo-mobile!"
You can usually tell when somebody is actually upset. Their story can go into different directions. They often stumble over their own words. Their conviction is usually impactful. But when somebody is pretending to be upset, that's when everything starts sounding just a little too arranged, a little too polished, a little too mindful of the camera, and a little too focused on delivering their dialogue in the most heartbreaking way possible. And that's this video. Leaping Lemur makes up this fake ass story over how he's gonna go homeless. Kinda weird how he claims how his life is over and is gonna be facing some bad hardships, yet he follows that up by making dumb videos where all he does is talk shit on the channels that made videos on him after he was exposed for being a creep. Anyway, let's begin.
Y'all, it's over. I really honestly don't know what I'm gonna do at this point.
He starts off with, "Y'all, it's over." And right away, I'm already not buying this crap. Not because the opening line was a masterclass in bait, because the delivery felt way too rehearsed. You know, like he didn't just sit his big ass down and talk. And then he goes into this story about somebody gluing a dildo to his dad's car. Alright. First of all, if that really happened, that's wild as hell. But even then, just listen to the way he tells that story.
You know, a lot of things have been happening lately, and I asked you guys to keep my family out of it. You know, keep my loved ones, the people that I hold near and dear, out of this. But it's just continued to get worse and worse. You know, it went from people mailing things to my house, people throwing bricks through my window, and now somebody's super glued. And when I mean super glue, I don't know what brand they use, but this thing is not coming off. A dildo to the front of one of my family members' cars, and I might as well just come out and say it, my father's car.
Man, if people are really fucking with his family, throwing stuff through windows, or I still can't believe it, super gluing a dildo to his dad's car. As funny as that sounds, man, that's fucked up. I mean, it'd be a different story if someone was messing with just Lemur. Like, I don't know, I wouldn't condone it still, but I wouldn't feel bad since he's the only one being messed with and not his family. Personally, though, I think this is all performative bullshit. He piles on way too many details before telling us what was done to the car, almost as if he's trying to embellish it with details nobody gives a shit about. It's like he's hoping that it'll sell his story better, you know? I mean, assuming there's any shred of truth in all this, it should sound more serious than it is. It should sound raw and like his life is actually falling apart, you know? But instead, it sounds so freaking staged. Because this entire video doesn't come off like he's innocent and is just like documenting a crisis, you know? Nah, hell nah. It comes off like he's trying to orchestrate one. It's like he's trying to turn humiliation into content, you know? And, well, that's why I'm not buying any of this crap.
It has a dildo on it now, and it's hard to drive around with a car like that. And the car is rather expensive, right? When he drives around, you know, when we drive around, hell, because, you know, he's driving me around places. Everybody knows that. So when he's driving me around now, people are just in my town are screaming, "Look, look, it's the dildo mobile."
No, they're not. No, they're not. Oh, this nigga. No, bro. Bro, ain't no damn way anybody doing that shit. There's just no way. I'm sorry. There's just no way. I don't believe that crap. What kind of backward ass town does Lemur live in? That just seems so unrealistic to me. I mean, he doesn't say this part like someone who's stunned that their life became a shit show. He tells it like somebody who bet all of his broken hopes and dreams into this dumb Hail Mary attempt at rage bait. He knows this is the headline. He knows this reeks of clickbait. As a matter of fucking fact, I'm surprised he didn't make that shit the thumbnail. You can tell his ass is hoping this is something people are gonna repeat, like some epic viral headline. And when he says people are yelling, here comes the dildo mobile. Man, that sounds so fucking ridiculous, bro. Ain't no way. But even then, like, the whole thing, it just stops sounding tragic and it starts sounding scripted as fuck. And I think this is the core problem with the video. Everything just lands a little too clean, a little too on the nose, you know? It feels less like he's enduring a shitstorm and more like he's organizing his own disaster into usable footage or some shit. Just feels off.
And now my father is kicking me out. Now my father is kicking me out. I believe so. You know what? I can't find a job. Why do you think I'm here? I can't do it. It's hard. People put posters up in my town. People put posters up in my town. Every time I go to a major business and ask for a job application, they think I'm some kind of molester or something.
Man, I guarantee you that's another lie. No businesses, major or otherwise, know who the fuck you are. Nobody's putting up posters about you, dude. No one gives a fuck about your ass enough to put one up. And that's another thing. What would the posters even have on them? Surely not your sexual assault allegations, yeah? If you could go back and add that little detail to your dialogue, man, I'd bet my left nut you would have claimed the posters made fun of your weight. See, and that's why I keep rolling my eyes, dude. Because even with this supposed low point, it still feels fake. To me, the biggest giveaway, in case you haven't noticed yet, is this. There are moments where he says something, clears his throat, and then says the same shit again. But this time with that extra shaky, please feel sorry for me tone layered on top. Bro, I swear this guy, I don't know if this guy is stupid or just mentally challenged. Like, that's not how a breakdown works, dude. It very clearly sounds like your first read didn't have enough pity in it, so you tried again and fucking forgot to edit out the first take. Genius level rage bait there, you dumbass. You can practically hear him thinking, oh fuck, that one sounded too normal. Let me try it again, but sadder this time. And that blows my mind. If I'm watching somebody supposedly spiral and I can feel the retake, I'm not watching a confession anymore. At this point, I'm watching a shit attempt at a pity party. Like, for real, like, Mans is out here trying to workshop his own sadness until it sounds dramatic enough to post. Speaking of pathetic behavior,
listen, I can't take this much anymore, man. This is too much for me to handle. Your little fucking YouTube dream or whatever the fuck you want it to be. Every single fucking day, there's some different kind of goddamn harassment or some different kind of bullshit happening to my house from some random dude on the internet. People shitting in my lawn. People spray painting pictures of this like random fucking black guy on my goddamn door. Like, we have grown men throwing bricks through our window. Someone glued a dildo to the front of my car, and now when I drive around, people look out and scream, "Look, here comes the dildo mobile!" What the fuck? I have a job to go to! I have to support this fucking family while you stay home fucking on YouTube all day, fucking talking about some fucking retards. What the fuck? You're out by Monday. I swear on my fucking life. If you don't get your shit together or you don't get a job, you're fucking out.
enter his dad's voicemail message. And this is where the whole thing really falls apart for me. This sounds so fake. When his dad lists off people taking a dump on the lawn, vandalizing his door, and then he does a cutesy little, like a forced back-to-back sigh to further highlight his bullet list. He continues with saying there are men throwing bricks. Oh, I'm sorry. Grown-ass men throwing bricks through his window. And then screams in anger over someone gluing a dildo to the front of the car. So, let's apply the smallest amount of common sense here. I mean, what grown man actually talks like that? And in the exact same cadence Lemur uses, this sounds like somebody doing an impression of a fed up father. It sounds less like some exhausted blue-collar dad leaving a genuine voice note, and more like Lemur either recorded this shit himself and pitched his voice down, or he looked for the cheapest VA on Fiverr and got them to read from a script he wrote. I mean, who naturally unloads that kind of speech with all the same fake dramatic tone, stupid details leading into the escalation, and in the same weird rhythm leaping Lemur himself has? That's the part I can't get over.
And now I gotta think of the best park in Bakersfield to sleep in. Because honestly, I don't think I'm going to last out there. You don't know what they do to somebody like me. I mean, maybe some of you do understand what they do to somebody like me. But, you know, I don't want to go to sleep in the wrong encampment and end up waking up sore, if you know what I mean.
So not only did he dox himself, but he kind of sounded like he wanted that booty play while low-key admitting to the accusations, you know what I mean?
Now, if you want to help me out in any way, liking, commenting, subscribing, I'm going to be trying to make as much content as possible from this park, but who knows how much I can really get out, you know what I mean? I'm going to try to go live maybe, and we'll see how that goes, but I don't want to like risk giving out my location or something stupid like that, right? So we'll just have to see what happens. Maybe if this video, you know, gets enough likes, I will decide to go live from the park, and you guys can all watch and we can have fun, right? But it's basically all I have left at this point.
So after all that bullshit about sleeping in the park, bro, I can't. The way this nigga pivots into it feels manipulative as fuck. You can tell this fool said all that because he's clinging onto that hope of making some kind of comeback and not have to get a job like a normal adult. And then he starts teasing future uploads from the park, and in the same breath say he doesn't want to risk giving away his location after essentially doxing himself earlier. Nah, bro, no fucking way. That's when I just fully checked out. In fact, it's actually what made me start uploading to this channel. He made that hypocrite video like a few days ago, and technically that was the first video I commented on to upload, but then he made an even dumber one, and well, here I am. I don't think this guy understands just how ridiculous he sounds. Bro, your life is allegedly collapsing, right? Your family wants you out, according to you. You're supposedly facing homelessness, and your fucking priorities are like, comment, subscribe. Oh, and maybe I'll go live from the park if I get enough engagement. That's some shit survival instincts. Man, but I hope at least you're kind of being a little smart with that. And like, I don't know, I hope you took notes from like low tier God and charged like $50 to show chat your camera feed or something.
Is there really a choice at this point? I've been backed into this corner, you know? I know in my heart what I know, but with all that's going on, I just really don't know. I just really don't know what the future holds. And it's scary.
You're the reason why your life is shit right now. Nobody held a gun to your head and told you to take advantage of an intoxicated woman. You put yourself in this situation, dude. You don't deserve to have a platform. Man, like, see, this is why this kind of video brings my piss to a boil. Not because the internet can't be crazy, it absolutely can. I like dumpster fires, you know? But because people like this love using real extremes to protect themselves from regular judgment. Kind of like how Amber Reed does to silence those that challenge her. You know, the fake crying, the fake scripted ass delivery, that dumb, unconvincing voicemail, blaming everyone but himself for the shit he's being accused of. I don't know. It makes this whole thing pathetic. According to his logic, none of this shit is his fault. Nope. Not the pushback he's getting, not the way people perceive his dumbass, not the harassment his family's been getting apparently. In his tiny little mind, he's just an innocent dude getting unfairly punished by a community that decided to not support cornballs accused of taking advantage of someone while they were intoxicated. But you see, that's the bullshit guys like him feed themselves. So much so that he convinced himself that he's the victim. So in some videos prior to uploading this one, he's claimed to be a changed man, which is fucking hilarious. Even more so when he always follows that bullshit up with framing himself to be the victim. With that mindset, yeah, nah, that fool's never gonna grow up. Lemur wants the community to feel bad for him, but he never really gives you a reason to trust his ass, you know? And without that, you ain't shit. Bro, all the sad tone retake voiceovers in the world just turn into noise at that point. So when his defense is to crash out and talk shit on teeth gums, even after practically admitting to the crime himself, all the while claiming to be the victim, while at the same time telling us to feel sorry for him and just take his word for it, I can't help but want to ask, if you're going through all that effort to put up a defense, what are you hoping we don't look at too closely? You know? Well, anyways, yeah, I'm gonna stop here. Thanks to everyone that watched the video to the end. I really appreciate it. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.